These TV announcers, man, they a bunch of makeup wearing little bitches, man, spreading lies about me. That's okay. That's all you can do. It's the Griff report. Well, folks, I'm back. Despite the bohemian tactics of the masonic, demotic slaves to spread deception as a weapon, hoping they would keep me stressing, maybe I'm the one. The Lord has given me my blessings. So here goes the next one. It's been a mediocre start for perennial powerhouse with the returning QB, as it took 3 quarters before the Tide swept last week. A slightly bigger opponent in an unfamiliar environment this week, as Alabama heads to Camp Randall to face their beloved Badgers. The line, 16.5, a huge number. One the likes has never been seen before in the modern era of football handicapping. This is the 3rd time that the Badgers have been a double-digit home underdog since 2005. Both the previous 2 were to Ohio State. One was an outright win for the Badgers. Does that mean the Badgers are a sure thing? Not according to the betting community. Consensus rolling in on Bama, 79%. Or it is before the Saturday public money. The Badgers may still have an offensive line to win against Western Michigan and South Dakota, but 4 quarters against the Tide and the run attack is sure to be one of those beatings where it'll be like the guy's beating on him. They try to grab his arms to slow him down, and he, instead of pulling back, he just grabs him by the eye sockets and beats him off the wall. That's what happens in the 4th quarter, as they put up like 28 last week in the 4th quarter. So this is a major live bet opportunity here for Alabama here, as Wisconsin is sure to come out and put up a good fight here, as the fans will be hyped up to see the dynasty of the last 10 years coming to town. Of course, they're without Nick Saban now, but this thing should be a good game here. My pick here, though, against the spread, I might put a live bet in. But my pick against the spread is Alabama minus 16.5. Taking the confidence out of the faith in Wisky. Tide come in and leave with the victory is what I think happens here. Coach Kelly has been beating on the tables this year because this team was in a position, but maybe the best wide receiver group in college football was just that good. It left everybody saying, did you see that? As USC beat them in the opener, as he was left beating on the table. While I was in for the worst 3 hours in sports last week, watching South Carolina beat my Wildcats into fucking pulp. They put a 3-hour beat down on the Wildcats. I watched every minute of that game. I had every other 3:30 game right last week, and I watched the only one I was losing there, the Wildcats, as they got just pounded. This here is a different matchup for both teams. LSU will have to contain the mobile quarterback in Sellers, but there's a senior running back also in Sanders. That's the meat of the LSU defense. Is that part of the defense, the run game? The youth is on the outside with the wideouts and secondary matchup. LSU owns this rivalry, 19-2 all time. Consensus, still not a lot of bettors that are on LSU yet. Only 58% taking the Tigers on the road here. So you see the mind of the public is unsure after that USC game. Those guys played an all-world game, though. You got to give the credit to USC there. And, I mean, LSU had their chances in the 4th quarter. They had their chances. This is still a freshman QB against what could still be a playoff team here. LSU, if they get their stuff together, they can still be a playoff team. A freshman QB against that team. I know they changed quarterbacks this year and all that stuff. But once again, you have to sit and watch this game. You can probably get it on a live bet and for less than the 6.5 points. Well, my pick is the Irishman having the eye of the Tiger locked in for their SEC opener, LSU minus 6.5. Speaking of the Irish and a team that just needs to finish strong to make the playoffs, The entire football world was shocked last week as Northern Illinois University went to South Bend and stole all the easy money backers from the Irish as they got upset outright. This week it's Purdue, one of the most historical rivalries in the state of Indiana and college football as a whole. Consensus still has the ND Notre Dame here by a 2-1 margin, about 66% taking Irish here. They're in West Lafayette. Last week, that Husky team was a group of seniors that had the run game. This week, it's Hudson Card and the air raid that they're going to see. So it's a different attack. That shortened the game last week. They're not going to, this one here is going to be a different game. It's a different matchup for the Irish, and one that they're more used to seeing. They don't see a team come in that can control the clock like Northern Illinois did all the time. It doesn't happen in South Bend, and that's not going to happen here in this matchup here. Notre Dame's going to be the team that can control things on the ground. Purdue might be able to hang around. Look at the head-to-head record, 13-26 all time playing in West Lafayette. Long list of Notre Dame victories here. Last Purdue win, 2007. There's been 3 2-point wins in that run there, a few 7 to 10-point wins, and a few 14 to 16-point wins. So, you see the spread here, it's going to go whichever way it goes. They cover or they don't. It may not matter to the Irish. They're looking to come here with the W. Look for live bet here. If you don't want to have to lay that number, you might be able to. The Irish might come out fired up here and put the game down here, come in with the fight here, the in-state rivalry as well. My pick is the Irish minus 9.5, Notre Dame. All right. Central Florida head to Amon G Stadium to face TCU in a short game. There's a lot to have a lot of rah-rah for both teams. 1 million points. Well, the total is 63. That's probably a tight one with no advantage on either side. A 1-point spread in the home team, not favored by the typical home number of -3. This one I picked just in case anyone should read or hear it from my university, the real FSU, Full Sail University. They're both in Orlando, as same as UCF. The game is on Fox, and my pick here is the visiting UCF Knights. 55% of the consensus is on agreement. Central Florida +1. To my birthplace and hometown here. Well, I'll just give the info because my Wildcats are up against it. Griff had a rough 3 hours last week and was stuck on 6 points all afternoon. Just couldn't keep him protected. As a Wildcat fan, traditionally, this is a rough go against Georgia. Last win coming in 2009 for UK. Last year, things went 51-13. Georgia, Kirby Smart, since he's been there, they've run this matchup. It's not been anything going UK's way since Kirby Smart's been there. One interesting note, you got Brock Vandegrift. Where does that advantage lie? Do the Georgia coaching staff, are they familiar enough with him where they're going to be able to shut him down all afternoon? Can Kentucky protect him? They couldn't protect the quarterback against South Carolina. But where is the motivation at for Vandegrift against his old team? He left there because he wasn't getting the playing time. He comes up here, he's the guy. So it's time to go for him. We got beat last week. The Wildcats they have to feel like they can do better than they did last week. They've got to protect the quarterback better. The line is 22 with 91% of the early consensus saying the Bulldogs. Hometown websites like Sea of Blue treating the Wildcats like Rodney Dangerfield, picking that big win for the visitors. Wait a minute, though. Last year, Georgia, 4-5 against the spread in conference. 1-3 against the spread as an away team. Just about 10 points on average has decided the last 4 matchups these two have played in Lexington. And the fair weather fans in Lexington, because we abandoned the football team once things get a couple losses here. But, the players feed off that energy. So the fans have to show up, get their tickets, fire up the grills, and create an atmosphere. Put that ether in the air, man. Let them know they're gonna win. Give them a chance. Make this thing a fish fight down there. You see Georgia, they come in here, they might overlook Kentucky here. They're like, well, we got the better quarterback. Griff has to feel like, man, I'm better than that guy on the other side. I'll take my beating here with the Wildcats and just leave it at that. Kentucky, plus 23.5, plus 22, wherever it is. My pick is the Wildcats. Now, here's for the best of the rest. These are my picks here for college football Saturday. Enjoy them and gamble responsibly. Texas, minus 35.5. Oregon State, plus 16. Central Michigan, plus 20. UMass, plus 5. Sam Houston, minus 5. Indiana, money line. Florida State, minus 6.5. Florida, plus 4.5. Pitt, plus 2. Tulane, plus 13. Utah State, plus 20. Mississippi State, minus 10.5. Ole Miss, over the team total. San Diego State, Cal, under 48. Boston College, plus 15.5. I'll be back with my NFL picks. As always, best of luck and enjoy your Saturday. This has been the Friday the 13th edition of the Griff Report.